How common is it for people to sign up to be organ donors through something like the DMV?
I wish it was more common for people to sign up at the DMV for the donor registry. However, since COVID, it's been challenging with people getting into the DMV. There's online options for license renewal. And I think the DMV in partnership does a great job at talking to people and asking if they want to register. But unfortunately, not everybody goes into the DMV now for renewal. So I think sometimes it may be missed. Today in North Carolina, there's approximately 5.8 million people signed up in the DMV donor registry. The DMV is not the only way to sign up in the registry. You can go to www.donatelife.org and you can sign up there as well. And sometimes in the community, there's specific events that they can actually scan your driver's license as well if you want to sign up for the registry that way too. There's still paper option for those people not comfortable with technology.
Right now, across North Carolina in the country, we have a lot of people who are walking around with those hearts on their license. But what makes being a living organ donor different?
The difference for living donation is a living person can donate an organ or part of an organ for transplantation. In order to do living donation, you would reach out to a transplant center and ask to speak to their living donor team, and then they would start the process, usually by sending a questionnaire for you to share your interest in being a living donor.
So, what are the most in demand organs, and how many North Carolinians do we have right now waiting for them?
There's 4,461 candidates waiting for an organ transplant in North Carolina. 3,986 are waiting for a kidney, 130 patients waiting for a liver, 71 waiting on a pancreas, 135 for a heart, 12 for a lung, 2 for heart, lung, 117 for a kidney and pancreas together, and 7 intestinal candidates waiting, and 1 abdominal wall candidate.
This is something a lot of people want to know, and they often ask when we do these kinds of stories, what does this surgery actually entail, and how much would organ donation surgery hurt?
For a living kidney donor, you can live your whole life on 1 healthy kidney. I think, we were given 2, so we could share our spare or donate 1. After living kidney donation, you might be in the hospital 48 hours and back to normal activities, usually within 2 to 6 weeks. Liver donation, a little bit different. So you have to stay closer to the center because they want to do a little more frequent checkups. I think it's really important, whether you're considering living donation or signing up to be a deceased donor, to know that there's a team that's going to make that decision. So you don't have to say, well, I don't think I qualify. Many times people will say, well, I don't qualify. Nobody would want what I have. That is not true, because, 1 deceased organ donor can save, up to 7 or 8 lives and affect 57 others through tissue transplantation. So I think it's always important to let the medical team decide.
I want to throw some numbers at you, Carrie. Every 9 minutes, someone is added to our national wait list. And every day, an estimated 19 people die waiting for an organ transplant. When you think about statistics like that, what do you want someone to know about the difference they can make by becoming a living donor?
I think it would mean joy, an overwhelming sense of, wow, somebody has reached out and wants to, give me the gift of life. It's very emotional, both ways, for the donor and then the patient themselves that's not even expecting a call from the transplant center and saying, hey, we actually have a living donor for you, even though you were on the wait list. And they are just overcome with all kinds of feelings because, it was not something they were expecting. There's a lot of myths out there and concerns that, if you're going to be an organ donor, that nobody's going to save your life. That is not true, because, we want the organs to be as healthy as possible and working for the recipient. So I think there's a lot of, myths that need to be addressed, but just continuing the education that you can be a living organ donor, and that you can lead a normal life after donating an organ. And for those not as fortunate to have a living donor that are on the wait list, we can help that, every one of us, by signing up to be an organ donor.